What's up, Chuck?
Hey, hey, what's up,
How
man?
you doing? How you doing? How you doing?
I'm good, brother, cuz I'm good. Not bad. And
We are
yourself?
on.
How's your week been?
Man, my week has been relaxing. I've been on leave, and I do not want to. I don't want it to end.
Aha!
I don't want it to end. Wishful
uh,
thinking.
I know, but you must return to work because that's what masculine men do.
You know. Oh man.
Ah,
Today's topic. What I call it topic or episode. Today's episode is male expectations. Male expectations, and the first half of this conversation is going to border around life expectations for men, family expectations, friends, and personal. So we'll just start with that first half.
hmm.
Before we begin, though, there's something I have been personally asking myself. I haven't sat down to do the research because I wanted to understand, I wanted to think it through first. So I wanted to just be raw. So my question, I don't know if it's a question, but my thought process is okay, fine. Men have expectations, yeah?
Uh-huh.
Then what is I don't want to say the opposite of expectations, but then what is our own rule? So there are expectations and there is duty. Am I wrong or am I right? How do I differentiate my duty from my expectations? Are they the same? Are they different? I've just been in this void trying to understand that. What's the difference between expectation and duty?
I, well, that's a very interesting question, to be honest. I've never really thought about it that way. And in 2021, the world duty tends to um, like it's not a very popular word nowadays because
Mm,
duty makes you think of being anchored to something that forces you to do certain things, right? Whereas
mm,
expectations can be easily chiseled into a very personal, focused kind of thing, like towards a desired goal. And that could mainly be piloted by yourself or spearheaded by yourself. Whereas duty seems to like be spearheaded by your ancestors or something else, if you get what I
yeah,
mean. Yeah.
yeah.
So so as much as I'm not saying that is wrong or right, but that's the differentiation that I would say that I think duty is more of a for outside in thing, whereas
Mm,
expectations could be either or outside, but you can easily how it's like morph it into your stuff. You get what I mean?
I get,
So I think
I
you have
get
more
that.
control over expectations than duty. Right?
Mm,
The question,
mm.
the thing I add to that is like, can duty can duty actually hinder? I mean, there's pros and cons to it. There's duties that are beneficial, right?
Yeah,
I.e., the way the world used to be, where everybody kind of had a definite role, but you could step out of it and help out here and there. But now is because everything is upside down. Nobody gives a damn about duty anymore because nobody's responding to what the let's say the status quo or how things
yeah.
used to function and work used to be, i.e., I don't see anybody holding doors open for ladies anymore, unless of course you're doing it for the gram and and you're holding it, like that. I don't see people trying to be. The last time someone said, "Oh, you're not behaving like a gentleman," I looked at the person and said, "Whoever told you I was one?" You know what I mean?
Ooh, ooh.
That kind of stuff. So I'm not a gentleman. What are you talking about? I would say I'm a warrior.
I like war.
Exactly. Get out of here, your gentlemanship. But anyway, back to the point I'm trying to make here is that duty is like if you look around, people are like, well, I think the world is not getting married earlier anymore. I don't think the relationships are our courtship is a thing. I don't anymore, or I don't think that the church is losing its grip on people. There's pros and cons to it. So there's a lot of duty that comes around community, culture, perseverance, continuation, passing the
Mm,
torch to the next generation, right? To continue
mm.
something. Whereas now expectations have gone into again flexing on the ground. Have you made your 1.5 million? Everybody wants to be a millionaire, both men, women, ladies,
Everybody.
and kids, right? So it puts pressure on a lot of people. So that would be my, I don't know if that's a definition or an explanation.
So I think whatever we can get these days, we take. Once we're growing, once we're
Yeah,
growing, we're fine with
absolutely.
it. Honestly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So in your own personal experience, yeah, what would you say are your life expectations? So I was thinking about it from my point of view, like in Nigeria now. I'm in
Mm,
Nigeria, and
mm,
when I was a young boy, as a child, expectations were go to school, do your homework, do not be a bad child, do not spoil your parents' name. I
yeah.
grew older. It was, a few more responsibilities. Take out the
Yeah.
trash, clean out the dog's poop. It's for the boys. Protect your sisters, protect your younger ones. I grew
Yeah.
older. Um, get a good job, get a responsible job. And when I say get responsible, it wasn't entrepreneurship. It was get a job, be an
Yeah. Of course.
employee,
Yeah.
employee,
Yeah.
get a job, get married, go to church, go to
Yeah.
heaven.
Yeah.
you know,
It's your duty. You must make heaven.
so 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 of course things are changing. Things are changing, and I'm still not. The younger as the generations change or evolve,
Hmm.
we are a bit more. Which word would I use? I don't want to say radical,
Uh-huh.
but we're listening less
Yeah, we
to the
ask
older
questions.
ones.
Yeah, we ask more questions.
Exactly. We ask
Yeah.
more, we listen less. We make our own decisions. Like the generation below me,
Hmm.
these guys are all out, man. They are hungry and they are angry. So my
Hmm.
question is, how are things evolving in terms of life expectations, and is it evolving for the better or for the worse? Of course, it's subjective though, but
Yeah, yeah,
that's my
of course.
question.
100%. No, no, I do get it. Like in terms of is it better or worse? When people tell you in the future this will be this. Now, if anybody, this is an example. There are blueprints, right? That people have used that it's worked and they predict stuff like for business, stocks, crypto, whatever. Everybody knows that crypto rises as in if you followed it. That's just as an example, right? It falls mid to third quarter, and then the fourth quarter it kind of skyrockets towards December to January. Anyway, that's the trend.
I need to give you some crypto.
So anyway, people always use trends because the people who study this and give you insight. That's why they call stuff insider information. They kind of know what's happening, right? Which is illegal, by the way, just if anybody didn't know. And stuff like that. So there's trends, like there's blueprints, there's footprints. So if you were living with the Amish, yeah, Amish are a group of people in some parts of I think Europe or America that have a particular way of
Yeah.
life. They live, they grow their own thing, they do their own thing. There's the Mormons.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Mormons. Jeez, how did I forget that?
exactly. They have their own way, and funny enough, I've met them and man, I was impressed. And believe it or not, I'm not don't worry about where or what I was doing there, but I was in a place that had really loud music and all kinds of madness happening there, right? And
Interesting.
there comes this couple, middle age, and then another couple way younger. And guess what? They were parents, right? Of the younger couple, but like they were parents as in they were married, and I think um, their the son brought his wife. So it's like one like it's like
Two
parenting
generations.
exactly two generations. But guess what? They were all Mormons. They weren't drinking alcohol, but they brought them out to see what the world was like, right?
I'm surprised. I didn't know they were that outgoing. Well,
Yeah, I
things are
mean,
changing.
no, no, they bring them out to see the world, then you decide like you to see and what you think you're missing, right?
Oh, I
You know what I mean?
see.
But then there's guidance. So looking at that, it goes like duty and blueprints look beautiful when you look at it from that perspective, right?
Yeah.
That stuff. But again, so let's take it back to your question, as in, you know, ex- expectations. If I'm talking about me personally, I hated school and church so much as a child, right? I mean,
Yeah.
hated. I'm not talking about, oh, it was okay. No, There's nobody that I went to school with that I'm in touch with right now. That's how much I hated school.
Oh, damn.
Do you understand? So
I
church,
do.
sorry, go ahead.
I do understand. I do.
Okay. So, and I thought it was a waste of my time. And my mom had to come to every school that I ever went to. I'm telling you, like every school I ever went to, my mom had to visit because it was not made for me. So I think
Mm,
sometimes that duty can sometimes blanket everybody, thinking that everybody has to follow the same route. And that doesn't really work out for the people who are different. And if
yeah.
you're stubborn as I was as a kid, you're going to have many, many problems in a
Mm,
society that believes that you should be a particular way, right?
yeah.
Which now goes into the life expectations. What did I want for myself? And what did my parents want for me? All I ever wanted, yeah, was guns. As a
I
child.
remember.
That's it. Honestly, I was made to be a warrior or join the military. Like, is there sports or military? These are the two things I remember I was made for. Every other
Mm,
thing, as far as I'm concerned, was a waste of time. If
mm,
if I had the blueprint, right, or if I was brave enough as a youngster to say, I don't know where I'm going to get my next meal from, but I'm gonna go. Like I remember wanting to go. Like okay, when I was in Nigeria, right, I wanted to go work at what was it called, Mr. Biggs. If you remember when Mr. Biggs was a thing,
of
right?
course. Yeah.
It's frowned upon in the culture.
It
Your parents
is.
do not go to school, graduate, be working, be prominent member of the society, and you're working at Mr. Biggs. It's not. What the
Yeah.
hell?
It's unheard of in
You know?
Nigeria. Unheard of.
Do you understand? So now I realize that, and then but people travel abroad and go work at McDonald's, and I'm like,
Straight.
I don't
Straight
understand.
up. And I mean, the cultures are so weird, and the way our own Nigerians convert. So in Nigeria, a Nigerian would frown upon even a KFC in here, but he goes abroad. He's a student. He
Yeah.
goes abroad and he's part time working at KFC, and he's cool. He's happy. He's doing his thing. He's hustling.
Exactly.
But I'm like,
Exactly.
and he comes back and he frowns upon it again. I'm like, okay, okay, stop with that.
Exactly. So it's again, it's like duty and expectations of family and friends and society, and you're starting to get conditioned. Now there's
Mm,
pros and cons to everything, right? I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say that, oh, it's good or it's bad. I just feel like, okay, you can make your own decisions, but if you don't have a blueprint and you're a youngster and life doesn't guarantee you anything, just because you have a dream, right, doesn't mean it's going to
mm,
work out. At the same time, just because, it doesn't mean it's not going to. So you're going to have to take a chance. But there are things that are really costly in life that you never get to recover from, which is why parents tend to be really guarded and guard their
mm,
kids, right?
mm,
Against making independent decisions. In the Western world, on the other hand, you see kids lose their lives, you see kids lose their way, right? You see kids who start off great because life is a marathon. Just because someone is balling today doesn't mean their decisions are going to pay them well in the future. So it's
mm.
all a risk, right?
Yeah,
If we're talking about expectations for life, I think in a nutshell that a
yeah,
personal purpose, finding your purpose is more important than any other thing, right? And I feel like if you're going to go through life and even die, because we're all going to die anyway, right? I feel like the expectations that you have for your life, for yourself, that you've thought through and wanted to go through the challenge, I think it's very important that your expectations for yourself trumps family and friends. I think it's important. But as you grow, I'm sure you start to understand when to move, when to slow down, when to consider family, when to be like, no. But you have to know what your priorities are. You know what I mean?
mm,
I think
mm.
that's how I'll leave it. I'll leave it at that. Otherwise, we'll talk about this forever.
Yeah, I'm telling you. So just to go over what you said, because I think you hit the nail on the head. Your life expectations, I think that's the first thing you need to figure out as a man,
Yeah.
because everything else, so you are like a magnet, and your life expectations, your choices, your life choices, your dreams, your hopes, your ambitions
Yeah.
are going to forge the kind of magnet you are. So as you move through life, you are going to attract things that will work with you and will work for you.
Whatever that.
Your future family, whoever you're going to meet and grow up with, the friends you're going to pick, how far you're going to go. So your life expectations clearly are the most important thing. And then I'll pick on something else. You cannot, as a man, fly or sail through life without a blueprint. Now, I mean, I think that would even probably be another podcast topic on finding the blueprints. But then I kind of tie blueprints to mentorship.
Exactly. It is.
And the way we even discussed, I think we touched on, was it the last topic, the last podcast or two
tribes,
podcasts ago?
mentorship.
Exactly, on how you extended it. It's now beyond the physical. You can have mentors online. You can find them anywhere, basically, once you're just sure of the direction.
Yep.
So the final thing I would say, just to encapsulate all this, man, and this is to every guy. This is to every guy listening to this. If you can write this down, man, know who you are, know who you want to become, and then get confirmations from more experienced people. They don't have to be human beings. They don't have to be people you know. It could be through a book. It could be through, TikTok, or basically going online and viewing through these people. Because if you look at successful people, they have their own blueprints. And many of them have given us snippets of their blueprints through their novels, through their books, sorry.
Yep.
If you look at successful people, there was something I saw on was it Twitter? It basically was online. There was this guy who was complaining. He was like, hey, the average CEO reads 60 books a year.
Yeah.
But the average human being reads one or less a year. One book, one. And if that person is going to read a book, it's going to probably be some fun novel or romance or whatever. And we're like, hey, you want to succeed in life? All these guys have given us their blueprints. Go out and pick up a book of a successful person and learn from it. Learn from it. Absolutely. So know who you are, know who you want to be, get confirmations from more experienced people, be respectful and strong, because a lot of choices you make, or a good number of choices you make, might be frowned upon. That's another thing for our generation. Our parents might not like them. Our friends might say you're crazy.
I think that comes under the how to handle pressure part. Yeah.
Oh, boom, boom, boom. We're going to definitely discuss that. Yeah. And another thing for guys in terms of mentorship, or something I was thinking about, and unfortunately this is true, it's a bit easier for guys to have physical mentors. It's a bit easier because, no one is trying to get in my pants, or the probability is way lower.
Speak for yourself.
I think the probability is lower, though. But things are changing. Oh my God! I think you just literally gave me a topic, another topic. I'm going to literally put that down. So I think that's basically it in a nutshell. I'm going to jump to the next area.
Yeah. I got a quick joke, right? So I was writing something one day with regards to what you said. I said my prayers are, defeat myself, embrace my demons, work hard, crush everything in my way, hold myself accountable, achieve this and this, right? All thinking warrior, in my head, And then I wrote my mom's prayers. May he find a good wife. May he get a good job. May he be married. May he have kids. And I wrote underneath that, God, with a WhatsApp face, like, what the? Like, which prayer am I listening to here? So I said, prayers are not going through. Better call your mom. And she sent the opposite prayer to the same sauce.
Oh, man.
Carry on. Just
oh, man. That is funny. The contrast in the prayer content.
Telling you, because mom's able to defeat yourself, embrace your demons. What the hell are you talking about? Go get married and give me grandkids.
Nah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, carry on. Next topic.
So the next half of this podcast is a bit more serious. And the question, so how to handle pressure as a man, because there's so many young guys out there who do not know who don't even they don't even know what pressure is. They feel it, they experience it, they lose, they win. They don't really understand it, and then even when they get to have an idea of what it is, they do not know how to handle it. And everything I can literally, as I'm talking, I can literally see the linkage in all our different podcasts. We're talking about vulnerability. We spoke about it
Yes.
earlier.
Yeah.
I'm dying inside. I can't ask for help. Why? I'm a man. I can't do this. How? What do you advise these young guys listening to our
I mean,
podcast?
I think
How do they handle pressure?
pressure comes in different. I don't even think the younger generation know they're under pressure because there's so much choice and they're
Hmm.
bombarded with 24/7 online activity. So
Hmm.
they rarely focus on one thing. They're always busy running around doing one thing or the other. But how productive are they really? Which means they lack their ability to isolate on one target and focus and try to deliver on one thing, right? Again,
Hmm.
there's pros and cons. So how do you handle pressure? In the simplest way, as Joko Willink would say, if you don't know who that is, Google him. It's like prioritize and execute, right? How do you prioritize and execute? In layman's terms, focus on one thing, regardless of every other thing. Just focus on one thing. Good habits tend to attract cousins and sisters and nephews and all its brethren. The same thing with bad habits. If you're
Hmm.
having pressure at work, right? Maybe each time you come back from work, go take a cold shower, go running, focus on your health. And somehow that health, I believe, will in turn start to help out at work because now your brain is clearer. You're not overthinking, which means like you need a timeout, right? So I think focusing on one thing tends to decrease the load because now all I'm focused on is this one thing, which is either what like, you know, takes away the pressure. Like I am going to focus on this one thing and this is all I'm going to think about, right? And each time your
Hmm.
brain wants to do something else, you're like, no, this is what we're doing because you also need to develop discipline to teach your brain to just say, this is the one thing. I'm not going to go into the 80-20 rule because that's just slightly more advanced. Just, okay, you wake up in the morning, oh my God, I have all this. No, go brush your teeth.
Hmm.
That's the one thing you should focus on. After brushing your teeth, take a shower. After showering, then you can start thinking, what am I going to wear? Right? And when
Hmm.
you get what you wear, then what am I eating for breakfast? Or am I fasting? Right? And then after that, right. So what is it I'm supposed to be doing at work today? Right? Good. What's the main thing? Focus on the first thing. Go do it. Get it done. Then the next thing. Go do it. Get it done. And before you know it, the day is over. But when you
Straight
look
up.
at, you know what I mean? I feel like it's simple but not easy, like everything in life. That's the only time. And when you need a timeout, right? The timeout could be with your tribe, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Again, go listen to the tribe thing. The timeout could be with your tribe. Now, remember, we said that everybody has a skill in the tribe. Find the one that has the best good habits of whatever your timeout is gonna be, right?
I
Because
like this.
not every timeout is nourishes the soul. So
Yeah.
some just bring with them things that you don't need in your life. I'm gonna
Hmm.
be honest with you. So be
True.
careful how you time out as well. I think you have to be very very watchful of how you time out. Some people time out with cigarettes. We know how that ends up. Some people time out with alcohol. I have
Hmm.
friends, right, who
Hmm.
are now alcoholics because that's how they learn to time out. Some people time out with pornography. God no.
Hmm.
Some people time
Hmm.
out with women. Oh my God, no.
Hmm.
You know? So be careful what your time out. Is. Go swimming, do something healthy, meditate, whatever it is. But that's just my in a nutshell.
I mean, as much as we have the issues with being vulnerable, the issues with being able to find our tribe, issues with expectations. There's something that is also very important that we are not, that people are not pushing to the younger generation
Hmm.
because of social media and the beauty, it's the false beauty it is bringing to life. Guys, life is hard. Simple. Life
uh,
is hard.
it
Everything I'm
is.
seeing on social media, 90% of what I see on social media is fun, joy, love, happiness. Very little bit of tragedy, But guys, life is hard. So you will face pressure. You will be stressed. You will be upset. You will be pissed off. And that goes to the final thing that Chuck just said. What are you timing out with? Find the proper means of timing out. That is how you are going to relax, recharge, and get back to business. Roll up your sleeves, guys. It is not going to be a walk in the park. It is
No, it's
not
not.
going to be a walk in the park.
It's not.
I
It's
like that.
not.
I appreciate
It's
that.
not exactly. It's not all tears and bloods and blood also, but it is. There's a
Mm,
like when they say make hay while the sun shines. The reason
mm,
people like think about it, a boxer, right? And I used this analogy once in my head. I said, can you imagine like what a boxer goes through and all the training he goes through just to go have one fight, and then even then he loses, right?
mm,
Now
mm.
imagine if he didn't train for that fight, he'd probably be dead.
Damn,
Just
damn.
just just an insight there.
I swear, I never thought of it that way.
So sometimes your preparation is just to keep you going when it gets tough. Do you get what I
Hmm.
mean? All that preparation is for it's gonna get hard, but I have the ability to weather this storm. You know what I mean? Anyway, yeah. So the next what we're
I
gonna
need to
talk
write.
about? Because
I
yeah, I
need to
think
write.
we're sorry, go ahead.
No, so I need to write down what you just said. Your preparation is just to keep. Is what do you say? Just to keep you going.
Just to keep you going and weather the storm. It doesn't
Yeah.
mean you're a badass now. It just means it gets you ready. And each storm is supposed to make you stronger, but you're supposed to be keep preparing for the storm. You know,
Deep.
people
I like.
train to join those special forces, but they still fail.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You
A
know,
whole
and
lot.
some try 3 times and still fail, even though they've been training and preparing for it. You know, so yeah, it's not doesn't mean you're gonna win. It doesn't mean you might even be able to weather the storm. But you don't come out of that the same person. You become a much stronger person. And remember, it's a marathon, not a race. And again, remember, we're not telling you these as experts. We are battling our own demons every day. So in a
I
way, this
swear.
podcast is also encouraging us to go do what we're supposed to do.
I swear. I swear. So the next one is basically just a pickup from the last thing we just discussed, and this
Yeah.
is what do you have to say to our young men today? Face your fears or run away. In today's world, there are too many escape outlets.
Well,
What do you have to say to our young men?
I mean, it's obvious. If you're running away, why are you running away from your fears? Like, to what end? Like, I don't understand. Like, if you run away, like, you have to face your fear, right? There's a saying that the answer you seek lays in the cave you're afraid to go into.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
Please say that one more time, man. Say that one more time, man.
I'm feeling like what do you call it, Yoda? The answer that you seek.
Man.
The answer you seek is in the dark cave you're afraid to enter. The answer you seek is in the cave that you're afraid to go
Wow.
into. I understand, and like I can't, especially as a man, right? And I believe that the more you challenge yourself, well, you also have to determine and prioritize what challenge comes first. Like there's so many challenges out there. Which one is the most priority for you at this
Hmm.
stage of your life? Do you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
sometimes you might be taking on challenges that you don't need to be taking on right now in your life, right?
Hmm.
Tell people a guy will quickly get in a relationship or quickly get a girl pregnant faster
Hmm.
than he will learn about business in his teens, right?
Hmm.
Because anthropology and sexuality is promoted and is easily accessible. But if you had a mentor, they'll probably tell you in your teens or early 20s that this for women cannot be your priority and girlfriend cannot be your priority. And maybe what
Hmm.
you're doing is seeking how to solidify your 30s, your late 20s, starting now,
Hmm.
right? So that's where mentorship course. So some people will take on responsibilities that are necessary at certain age, right? Stand, but it might be by default or whatever. I just use the girlfriend thing as an example because 9 times out of 10, that that will start happening to you long before someone starts talking to you about business. Okay, we got social media now. Everybody's talking about NFTs, meme coins, crypto, Web3. all of that. So if you turn on social media, you're gonna hear it. Sure, we're all talking about it. How many of us are actually doing it, right?
Yeah.
So you might still be distracted. So I would say, face your fears, list and identify what your fears are, and again, in order of priority, and then try the best to start facing them. And that's also why you have mentors. They will challenge you. Have you ever tried to contact a mentor that you actually want to talk to him? Have you ever thought of how to actually introduce yourself? Because people say that you can't approach mentors and ask for them to be your mentors. You have to bring value to them. So what
Yeah.
value are you going to give someone who needs nothing from you? Now that's your
Mm,
first challenge right there.
mm.
Yeah. So yeah, I would that's where I would leave that for now.
What are the consequences of facing our fears, and what are the consequences of running away? I mean, at my age, at my level now, I understand a lot better than I did 5, 6, 7 years ago. But then putting myself back in secondary school, putting myself in university,
Yeah.
I did not, and I categorically stated, I did not understand the consequences of running away. I did not understand the consequences of facing my fears. And my parents did an amazing job in raising me. As my parent, I would say it again, these guys raised me so great. However, they say go to school, read your books, don't do this, don't do that. They have done what they're meant to do. But the mind of a man is still going to do what he wants. How do we get these younger guys to understand the consequences? Because many of us do listen to our parents, man. And I mean, there's nothing wrong in that sometimes. But and I don't think I should use the word parents. I should use the word more experienced people. We don't really listen to experienced people, especially when we are going to be uncomfortable.
Um,
How do we get these guys to understand the consequences
to
of
be
their
honest,
actions?
I think the only way I mean, the best you can do is show them real life scenarios of people. They'll probably not be able to identify with those people, but
Mm,
when
mm,
mentors expose their flaws and how they got to where they are, which is they call it like an origin story. This is where I started. This is what's happened to me. This is how I overcame, right? But
mm,
no one tells you about, and I can tell you this uncategorically, like, or categorically, there are dark times where you'd have to walk alone at some point. Tribe will not be there, mentors will not be there, and you will be all by yourself. No matter what everybody tells you, and you already have the blueprint and you have everything, you will sit in that room one day and all you got is yourself, right?
mm,
And I think that no one prepares you for that moment because it's a very
nobody.
defining moment for you,
Nobody.
right? Everything you do then is going to define you a lot in the future. Habits that you acquire during those quiet times will either destroy you or make you, or even give you like a longer rope to climb, in the future. And
Yeah.
I'm talking from experience on this one,
Mm,
right?
mm,
So getting people to listen, I think that I will just lay it on them and be honest, as in, bro, you were going to crash or you're going to burn. And one day you're going to be 50 or 60 and you will have nothing, right?
damn.
And I will do is like, you will never discover your true self, right? And I will say, like, the God in you will wither and die. You will die a peasant's death.
Whoa.
There
Whoa. This is
and
getting
be
spooky.
honestly and be forgotten like last year's
Mm,
Harmattan's dust. This is
damn.
it, as far as I'm concerned. This is like what you're doing. If you do not get up and go do what you're supposed to do, you will be nothing in future. And you will know it. And you will see how the world loses respect for you inch by
Mm,
inch by inch. And I'm sure
mm,
there's somebody right now that you used to look up to when you were a kid, that you look
mm,
at him now and you go like, I don't want your life. No, thank you.
mm, mm.
And if you don't buckle up and do some shit, you're gonna be exactly that guy. When your nieces and your nephews and all of that come around you, and you're just that uncle that nobody wants to really be, but they tolerate because you're blood.
Damn. Damn.
Just saying.
Damn. And he ended it with just saying. Oh man, I think with every episode that passes, I begin to even understand more the value of what we're doing here.
Roger
I
that,
tell
man.
you. I tell you. I
Even I'm
appreciate
getting goosebumps hearing what I'm saying. I'm saying, oh my God, am I that uncle?
Oh my god, that's funny as hell. It's crazy, man. Wow, that's really deep, man. Honestly, the
Yeah,
final thing, extreme ownership
Roger
and
that.
responsibility. Extreme, because I understand. I mean, and this is me speaking for myself, and I mean, I will be dead honest.
Yeah.
I take ownership. I take ownership. I understand ownership, but I don't think. I don't want to say I don't think. I do not take extreme ownership. Now, how do we? So, for people who already are responsible enough,
Yeah.
who can take ownership, how do we move up to that level of taking extreme ownership?
I mean, I think that there's a saying that I heard once. It says there's nothing more spectacular like watching a broken man rebuild himself from nothing. Yeah.
Hmm.
You know, and we all know that most of our peers are what we call nothing. Yeah. You think you have nothing till you actually go see people who have nothing. And then
Hmm.
you think those people have nothing till you actually go even deeper. That rabbit hole can go deep,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you know that as I'd say middle class as we are, for us we're middle class. For some people
Yeah,
we're the rich, right?
true,
Which
true.
yeah. So we're all want to be millionaires one day and stuff, and we're pushing to that. We all want to get there. Um, I think so. We can easily say that we're starting from not nothing, a lot of something, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So my question is, what would your life look like if you did everything you're supposed to do? It's a simple question, right? If you woke up today and you said, everything I'm supposed to do today, I'm going to go do it. What would your life look like in a year from now? I think that's what extreme ownership
I'm literally writing this down.
is.
I think let me tell you, and you know, when I talk a lot, when I'm like, you know, I'm baffled, I'm like, wow, damn, this is deep. You know, it's real. So what I would literally just repeat what you said. Guys, I hope you're listening. What would your life look like if you did everything you were supposed to do today? Now do that every day for 365 or 364 days. Wow. That is the simplest explanation of extreme ownership I could have ever hoped for. Simple. It is so simple.
I know,
But
but
guys, can you be
it's not easy,
consistent
is
with
it?
this? Exactly.
Exactly.
Can you be consistent with
I
this? Wow.
honestly, I think
Wow.
life is very simple, but it's not
Wow.
easy. Do you
Mm,
understand? Because
mm,
imagine, like when we were younger, we thought we had distractions, right?
mm.
My God, look at the world now. You
Dude,
literally have to switch off
dude,
everybody in your world, including family, to be able to
dude.
concentrate.
It's crazy.
Yeah. But anyway.
It's crazy. Honestly, man, we should be paid for this. This is value. This is crazy value, man.
We'll
But
get
it's all good.
we'll get
Exactly. We'll get there. This is
hopefully
this
by the
is
time they're
crazy
listening
value.
to this, we're already making bank because the last thing they want is a bunch of two very poor dudes just telling them what to do.
You know.
It's
In
like,
the
yeah, I
end.
love what you're saying, but I don't want their life.
Oh man, we'll all get there.
Yeah.
We'll all get there.
Roger.
Wow, man, Chuck, I truly appreciate it. This is the longest episode we've ever had,
Yeah, that's true.
honestly, and and
And
and,
we
and I had fun.
all right.
I had fun. I
Yeah,
really did
man.
have fun.
We should do a part two because I think there are a few
I
things
agree.
we're supposed to do. We'll talk
I
about it.
agree.
But we'll do
I
it another
agree.
time. That's all good.
I agree. Makes sense. I agree. Man, Chuck,
Yes, sir.
thank you so much again. I mean, this is I like this. tradition, because it's becoming a tradition. This definitely would go beyond a podcast. This will
Yes,
become
sir.
a tradition for men across the world.
Roger
Thank you
that.
very much.
You're
See
welcome,
you
man.
same time next week.
Roger that.
One
Bye.
love.